and a warm welcome to Sky Sports coverage of the Embassy World Pool Championships for 1997. As you can see, we're here in Manchester at the New Century Hall once again, and we're going to be bringing you the final stages of 3 events. The men's individuals, that's down to the quarter-final stages, the ladies' final, and we start tonight with the team event. Now that's down at the moment to the semi-final stages, where hosts England take on Australia. They, of course, are the world champions. In the other one, it's Ireland against France. Now, in that first matchup, everybody here expected England and Australia to meet in the final, as they did in 1996. Well, when that happened, it really couldn't have been closer. Let's take a look now at how Australia took the title.
And the long trip, 1 ball away from being rewarded. He's done it! He's done it! Cran Wrigley has won it for Australia. It's a 14-frame to 12 victory. An unbelievable shot. Look at the Australians. What a night it's going to be now.
Well, that's how it ended in 1996. Let's hope it's just as close this year. Incidentally, England have been on superb form. They have 4 players in the individual quarterfinals. Australia have none. But remember, they are the world champions. With their cricketers here for the Ashes, I can assure you they will not want to go home empty-handed. Well, without further ado, let's get down to the action now with our commentator, Jim Weish.
Well, thanks, Jonathan, and certainly I have to reiterate, this is really going to be a cracker.
Most people thought might well have been the final. But I can tell you, as I see the players shaking hands and just heading up to
the 2 players that are going to be opening accounts here, it's going to be Jason Twist. There you see him. He's going to be representing England. And opposing him from Australia.
First frame, England to
be
break.
John Barton, JB as they call him. And the biggest difference between these 2 teams right now is they're both sporting different waistcoats. Jason Twist to break. And now both sides will be extremely eager to get off the mark here as early as possible. It's a best of 27, a race to 14 in this first semifinal. And right now, Jason looking very good. And England, a very strong favorite here. And no one would know better how much they are fancied, certainly, than the captain of the Irish team. They're in the second semifinal. And that gentleman just happens to be joining me in the commentary booth. And Tony, no one really wanted to be facing England in this first semifinal. I know your side was playing hard to try and avoid that.
Yes, in our last match in the qualifying stages, Jim, we were pitted against Australia, and the loser of that match, their prize was a semi-final clash with England. And I can tell you, we definitely didn't want to be playing England this year.
Well, right now, Tony is looking, or Jason, sorry, is looking terrific. It's Jason Twist at the table. And what a great start this is for England.
Watching them this week, Jim, I've never seen an international team have as many breaking outs than I've seen this week from the England side. When they played France, this is another group match, I think they went 9-1 up, and 7 of those frames were from breaking finishes. Unbelievable potting. They're just playing so fantastic this week, it's just unbelievable, Jim.
Well, all he's going to require now is good position from the last red, which shouldn't pose a problem. And onto the 8 ball in the center of the table.
Well, this is just what Australia don't want. Not even get to the table and go 1-0 down. Psychologically, it's not the greatest start in the world, Jim. You know what I mean?
Well, this could have been easier. This is an important shot. Jason's got to be very careful. Looks like the left corner pocket. Top of our picture as we look.
Tough shot, Jim. I did fancy Jason to get that one.
Yellow balls
I mean,
to
a
play.
few of our viewers will remember Jason probably from 1995. He was actually the runner-up in the World Singles Championship then, Jim. And I mean, what a fantastic potter he is, but pretty surprised really he missed that black. It's not usually his trademark. He's usually a big, clean potter. Still a good chance for Australia to get their hand on the table and hit a few balls. Didn't want to be going 1-0 down without getting to the table.
Well, John Barton's got to be so careful, though, with that black precariously perched over the top left.
This is a tough opening ball. That's a great shot that John Barton's just played. When he queued up there, Jim, I thought he was going for the double. What a great safety shot that is.
Total snooker.
And there you can see cushion first.
What a brilliant
Finish. Tremendous shot from Jason Twist.
Frame 4, Australia to break, leading 2 frames to 1.
And now another very worthy player, Alec Everanatas. He's up against Daz Ward. And Alec is a very useful player indeed.
Yes, they call him the
Red
ace,
ball's
Jim.
potted.
And he could well be the ace in the pack for Australia. Got a great chance of an out here.
Well, it's still an open table. So you can choose either color,
balls in
even
play.
though he potted 2 reds off the break. You know, this is a very surprising start. When Australia played England in the round-robin stages, they were beaten and beaten soundly. 17 frames to 10.
Yeah, I think it was very important for Australia to get some frames on the board early, Jim. If they went 3-0 down or something, you know, you could just see the heads going down. And then with all the power that England have got at the back, all you could do is see the score get bigger and bigger and bigger. But Australia have done extremely well. And this is a great chance to increase their lead.
Well, I think
Yellow
that's
balls
one
to
he'd
play.
like to have over. That's a bad miss.
Well, he knew if he got that ball, he had the frame at his mercy. Now he's presented the 1995 world champion, Daz Ward, with an opportunity to get the teams level.
Seconds remaining.
I noticed something from last year, Jim, for anybody that did watch the final last year between England and Australia. Daz Ward played very late in the match for England, and it was he was the one who made the fatal mistake in the last frame when Australia won the title and took it away from England. Well, it seems to me that Daz has been moved up to early part of the match, been brought forward. They haven't put him at the back as they normally do.
A very anxious look from Daz Ward right now. Everanatas certainly has to be big favorite right at this visit to take the frame. Wanted to leave himself a little angle there, Tony, but he still shouldn't have too many problems getting that cue ball back to the center of the table for that red into the middle pocket.
Yeah, he's got great control as ace. Can't see any mistakes here, Jim. It's pretty straightforward.
Well, he's going to have to travel a little with the cue ball. Black ball to the bottom left.
Yeah, he's just come a bit too far there. See a little bit of right-hand side put on the cue ball here, off the top rail. Spin the cue ball down onto the top right-hand cushion. It's a pretty good effort.
Desperately close to snookering himself, but this simple black for a 3-1 Australian lead. And what a performance from Australia. And look at them, Captain Mick Delahunty. High fives all around. It's Australia 3 and England 1. England under tremendous pressure thanks to this Australian blitz.
But you've got to remember that Australia are still the world champions. But the England side is phenomenal this year. I mean, they've got a couple of new players in. I mean, I don't want to talk about who we'd rather play in the final, because we're not in the final just yet, Jim. It's a little matter of the French team we've got to cope with yet.
Well, it's down to Carl Morris from England. He's the one that has just broken off. Another new face on the English side. Very good young player.
Yellow ball's nominated.
And he's nominating the yellows. He's going to be playing Jack Halligan. Again, a wealth of experience in the Australian player.
Yellow ball's in play.
This is one of England's rising new stars.
That's right, Carl Morris. I was just about to say Tony has a little bit of a hearing impediment.
That's right, Jim. Carl Morris is actually completely deaf. Can't hear a thing. But what a rising young player this is. I mean, bags of talent. He's only been a professional now for, I'd say, about 12 months. But already he's rising up the ranking list pretty fast as well.
Well, Jack Halligan wondering if he's even going to get a chance. This gifted young English player, trying to keep him planted in his chair. In fact, with Carl Morris's handicap in the hearing department, you're going to see the referee touch the table. That'll be his time warning. Well, don't know whether he's going to need it in this frame, though.
Well, he's doing okay at the moment, Jim. Bearing in mind this is his first ever appearance in front of the television cameras. So you're going to get an extra bit of butterflies inside the stomach, I expect. But he's looking pretty steady.
Slightly awkward cueing. Had to be careful not to touch that other yellow ball, but this really an impressive performance for a young player who you wouldn't have expected to spur the English side on. That's just what he's trying to do.
Just got to be a little bit careful with this shot, Jim. Just got to play the cue ball off the two cushions, potting the yellow into the centre pocket to come up for his last yellow, and it looks he's played that sweetly. It's a great shot for the first time in front of the TV. Great performance.
Quick look at where he wants to land with the white after taking this final yellow. Performance from young Carl Morris. The English side right back in it. They've pulled one back. They still trail Australia. It's 3 frames to 2.
Has he left that short, Jim?
Total snooker.
I think might be able to swerve around this one and pop the red into the corner pocket. That's what he's attempting. He's
still got the pressure on Jack Halligan.
He was taking no chances there, Stacey. There's always a risk of following the cue ball straight into the pocket after the red if you play the swerve. Taking no chance at all, Stacey Vine.
This is a tall order now for Halligan, a long way back.
Played a good shot. Just containing Stacey. Trying to develop the yellows as well.
Yes, it looks like Stacey may be able to go up the top end of the table here and back down towards the red.
He could also come into the top rail with a load of right-hand side and check the cue ball back off that top rail as well.
30 seconds remaining.
It's close.
Tremendous shot from Stacey Vine. Always looked like there was a path there, and now this black to complete the victory. Great shot from Stacey Vine. A lot of applause from the English team. Nothing Jack Halligan could do about that. Just look at the scoreline. It's 8 frames to 3.
Just changing his brake stance there is Mick.
Foul.
Seemed to change his brake there from what he normally does.
1 visit only. Open table.
Don't know what was behind that. Obviously not happy with his brake of recent. But he definitely won't be happy with the result in this one.
Yes, just tried to impart a little too much action into that. But it's only 1 visit to the incoming player. That rule holds true only after the break.
But I mean, it's still loss of turn though, Jim. I mean, he's just throwing the ball back to Lee Kendall. I mean, if he kept the white on the table, it was Mick there now with a finish on. But instead, it's the man from England.
Yellow ball's in play.
And what's more, look at the position of the yellow balls. Lee very quickly looking to go game here because he's elected to play onto the only one that might have posed any problems.
This is all over this, Jim. There's no danger Lee Kendall will finish from here. Just trying to prove me wrong there. He had one that went in the side door. But I mean, Mick will just not be happy with that break. There you see him. But he's wishing he stuck with his original break. There you are, he's got perfect position now on his last yellow, Lee Kendall. Just got to knock this in, pull the cue ball back about 6 or 7 inches, and the black goes in the bottom right hand corner. And this will restore England's 6-frame lead. Been a tidy little finish really, Jim, from Lee, but once again Australia had the advantage with the break.
Yes, but they threw that advantage away, and the 6-3 scoreline from round 1 is duplicated in round 2, and that's the reason it is now England 12, Australia 6. And the red at the top right of our picture, certainly cause for concern. Remember, he's got 2 visits.
I just wonder if the red that's not the red right next to the yellow, but the next one down from there might go past yellow into that corner pocket. If it does, there could be a chance for Mark Goodwin. Well, I'll tell you what, how about that? Red goes now past yellow. What a great shot from Mark Goodwin.
Yes, had he not potted the red, that one might not have been as good, but still with the 2 shots in hand, this is a big chance now for Mark.
Huge chance this now for England to win the match, Jim. Well, I'll tell you what, for a minute there I thought he might drop short and not hit a cushion and give away a foul. That would have been disastrous for Mark. But as it is, he's still carrying 2 shots. And what a chance this is to take England into the final.
Got to be careful.
Where's yellow going? Just got a cross double on. He's got to double the red across to the bottom left-hand corner.
And ensure that he doesn't get a double kiss.
That's right.
That's the only danger. If that red gets by the white, and Keith Brewer knows it, it's going to lay over the corner pocket.
Second visit.
Looks good, Jim.
Red and 8-ball for a place in the World Pool Team Championship.
Australia know it.
It's there, and England has done it. They have avenged the defeat of last year. They have put the world champion Australian team out of the tournament, and they will be opposing either France or Ireland in the other semi-final.